The Boston Celtics just got a triple dose of great news after their win over the Washington Wizards. And that first piece of news came as a pretty big surprise to Celtics fans here, as Jordan Walsh made a huge impact in Boston's win over Washington when most of the bench was really not having their best outing early on in this game. Jordan Walsh got subbed in that first quarter and ended up having a huge impact in the second quarter, where Boston ended up winning 44-23 in that period. Now, Walsh was a plus 27 in this game in 24 minutes played. That is awesome, awesome stuff to see, considering he hadn't played that much to start this season through the first 8 games. Now, he didn't necessarily put the most gaudy stat line here, right? 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 of them being offensive. That's huge. And one thing that we know the Celtics have struggled at so far this season is rebounding the basketball. So to see a guy here not get much of an opportunity so far this year and really being on the last legs of his NBA career, come out and have a major impact and kind of earn himself some more minutes here in the early going of the season, that is great news for Celtics fans. They're just getting another body here. Walsh had only played 24 total minutes before Wednesday's game against the Wizards. And, I mean, how difficult do you think it would be? I mean, everybody watching this probably isn't a professional athlete. Like, how difficult is it to go from DNP after DNP and so much uncertainty about your role, or if there is anyone for you in Joe Mazzulla's rotation, and then you come out, he's asking to play big minutes, and he goes out there and plays his tail off for the most part. And Joe Mazzulla recognized that. Here's what he had to say. He said, "I thought he was good tonight. Just both ends of the floor. His presence defensively, his rebounding, his positioning. He's got good defensive instincts. I thought he played really well." And what have we kind of seen from Jordan Walsh throughout his Celtics tenure to this point? It's been not really all those things that Joe Mazzulla just said. He's looked out of place, has not been the most engaged, has really tried to do more than what is asked of him on the offensive side, which is just really not created the best basketball for Jordan Walsh. And what this season is about for the Boston Celtics is finding guys who can be in the right spots at the right time, who can be coachable, who can be complementary. This season is about finding role players. And Jordan Walsh is kind of on his last year of really probably being in the NBA, if that kind of isn't conformed to there, a role of being, a role player in this league. So if he continues this type of play with Boston, he's going to buy more time and a longer career in this NBA. Here's what Mazzulla said about his kind of, uncertainty in the rotation here, in the DNPs and the suddenly getting a bunch of minutes. He said he just chips away at it. Again, there's a high level of professionalism to be ready, and he just treats every day, treats it as if he's going to play. So I think that instinct of kind of, what you got to have, and he handled it well, and he's got to keep that up. But he works at the same pace regardless of if he's playing or not, and that says a lot. And I think we're seeing that from a lot of the Celtics on this team. It's a roster full of unproven players, guys who haven't gotten their shot just yet, and everybody's kind of waiting in the wings, hungry to prove themselves. Jordan Walsh just got his opportunity, and now he is doing so. So that's awesome news for Celtics fans here, and I'm not saying that he's going to get 25 minutes tonight. There's probably going to be more DNPs in his future, but I'm just looking forward to seeing him, out there on the basketball floor a little bit more opportunity for Jordan Walsh here in the early going of the season, when we don't even know who's going to be the rotation when it's all said and done, come like past trade deadline and whatnot. With that being said, with the performance that we saw, do you guys believe in Jordan Walsh to get more opportunities, to show more flashes with the C's here in the early going? Let me know in the comment section. B for believe, D for don't. What do you guys have to say? Let me know in the comment section. Let's talk about Josh Minott a little bit more. Why not talk about Josh Minott? And why not talk about Neemias Queta as well? This new starting front court duo for the Boston Celtics, Minott with a stellar line once again when he was given a big opportunity against Washington. 21 points in this game. He is contributing to the Celtics getting out in transition. He is hitting above the break three-pointers, which we didn't expect him to do at a high clip. Goes 3 of 6 in this game, and he is another guy who's in the right space at the right time, knows when to cut, knows when to be available as a lob threat. Love what I've seen from Josh Minott so far, specifically when he has started next to Neemias Queta in this lineup for Boston. Queta with another excellent line, another double-double last night. He's nearly averaging a double-double on the season now. 4 offensive rebounds against Washington. He had a block last night as well. 7 of 7 from the field. Continues to be efficient, not take shots that are outside of his range, not try to be an offensive threat that he's not. When he's around the rim and he's available and the hands are open, he's going to get hit and he's going to put it inside the basket. He continues to do so. And he's playing really well off Josh Minott for the most part. Like, they're not only doing this lineup with the kind of Minott at the 4 and Queta at the 5, but they're also running lineups with Josh Minott at center as well. But as for those two in the duo in that starting unit, they are ranking among the best two-man lineups as far as net rating goes in the entire league. Yeah, number one in the NBA. It was kind of the upstart Heat here. They're surprising a lot of people to start this year. Adebayo and Jaime Jaquez, plus 32.4 net rating with those two guys on the floor. Well, Josh Minott and Neemias Queta there at plus 31.8. And I don't know if this is just due to Minott or Queta specifically, but I'll tell you what, Neemias Queta is competing with some of the best centers in this league right now when it comes to net rating. How much do you impact the basketball game when you are on it? Number one in the NBA among centers. This has to be wrong, right? This has to be a fake stat. No, it's real. Go look it up out there. Through 9 games, Neemias Queta leads all centers in net rating. An absolute impact player. I think the Celtics got 2 guys here in Queta and Minott who are going to be long-term pieces and long-term role players on this squad. More from Minott here about being a starter and really the biggest role of his NBA career so far. This guy never played more than 20 minutes in a game before this season. And he said, I don't take it for granted. I don't consider that I have any starting power or any staying power. I just try to go out there like this shit can end tomorrow because it can. I'm appreciative that they trust me with starting. At the end of the day, every time I go out, I just assume that it can always be taken from me. Dude's playing like the rent is due. I love that. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a guy on the Celtics here play as hungry with, a new opportunity as Josh Minott is here in the early going of this season? I mean, through the past few years, we've had guys who are already established and guys who are ready to win a championship. This is a Celtics team that has a little bit of different goals as it stands right now. Of course, they're going to compete for a title, but with the expectations not really there so far this season, there's a lot of guys individually on the Celtics roster that are kind of trying to get it out the mud and extend their NBA careers, and Josh Minott is doing an excellent job at doing so. Make it known down below for me right now that you're loving the play of Neemias Queta and Josh Minott in this 1-2 punch in that starting lineup. If you want this starting lineup to continue the way that it has right now, go down below and hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. So maybe Josh Minott and Neemias Queta end up seeing this in their YouTube feeds, and they end up seeing the love from all the Celtics fans down below. Coming up next, we got to talk about the last piece of great news here for Celtics fans, as Jaylen Brown is playing like a legitimate number 1 option in the absence of Jayson Tatum and taking the reins with ease this season so far. First, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor in the program, and that, of course, is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's number 1 daily fantasy sports platform. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. It can get you up to 2,000 times your money watching your Boston Celtics this season in one daily fantasy sports lineup. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. And PrizePicks is the best daily fantasy sports app, not only because it's the prettiest looking, because it's the easiest to use, because they offer the best features, like stacks. Yes, when you put multiple stat projections from the same player in the same lineup. So if you want to take Josh Minott points, Josh Minott rebounds, Josh Minott blocks, all in the same lineup, you can do so only on PrizePicks. It's also becoming a social event as well, where you can copy other people's picks from the feed tab, celebrities, your friends, even myself, your favorite creators on PrizePicks. My lineup for the football Sunday coming up here. I got Derrick Henry, more than 89.5 rushing yards. I got Josh Allen, more than 34.5 rushing yards. And I got Khalil Shakir, more than 55.5 receiving yards. You can tell my picks or fade them. Just do it at PrizePicks. Download the app today. Use the code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. We got to talk about Jaylen Brown, man. Like, we have to talk about the play of this guy so far this year. He's playing like an all-NBA level type of player, carrying the Celtics in the scoring column night after night after night. I mean, Derek White has not been a strong number 2 option so far this year, so Jaylen Brown's had to go out there and play excellent basketball. 35 points against Washington this one, and he continues to get it from everywhere in the in-between game. We know Jaylen Brown is a mid-range assassin, straight bag work around that free throw line, foul line, extended area. What about above the break? He's starting to shoot the 3 ball at an incredibly high clip so far this year, 2 of 4, and he's being selective as well. When the shot's not falling for Jaylen Brown, I mean, think about it a couple days ago when he had 30 points and he was 0 for 9 from 3-point range. How ridiculous is that? So not only is he being selective now when he knows the shot's not falling, but he's also just, in general, hitting it at a higher clip because he's getting easier baskets. He's getting into a rhythm. He's getting to the basket constantly throughout the season so far. 28 points a night. He's like top 12 in the league in scoring. Yeah, the rebounding numbers maybe aren't where I want them to be, considering Boston is a pretty bad rebounding team. And you lose Jayson Tatum. He was the number 1. He was a big rebounder on this team. You probably want Jaylen Brown to get a couple more in that area. But scoring the basketball is what this team needs him to do. Defending at a high level on the wing is what this team needs him to do. And he's doing both very, very efficiently. He's only one of 6 players averaging 27, 4, and 4, along with Giannis, Luka, SGA, Tyrese Maxey, and Austin Reeves, who's having a hell of a season so far. But Jaylen Brown is playing like a number one option so far this year. Crazy that 2 Lakers are on that list as well. Well above his career averages so far in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage. So those were the 3 areas, honestly, that I was most concerned about coming into this year. Free throws, obviously not so much, but he's never been a good free throw shooter so far in his 8-9 years in the NBA. Three-pointers has never been a strong suit either as far as a true volume and efficiency goes. He's shooting a 50 and 40% clip right now, basically. Like that's unheard of for Jaylen Brown. He's also shooting 92% inside 3 feet. How ridiculous is that? When he's at the rim, he's not missing. And he's winning basketball games for the Celtics. He won against the Wizards. Now, they didn't win that game against the Jazz, but it feels like they're winning a little bit too much to be Team Tank for this season. Jaylen Brown also has a message for those Celtics fans, even myself included potentially, who might want to be Team Tank with a really good NBA draft coming up. He said, health is key. You see a lot of guys get injured and sitting out games. I want to play as many games as I possibly can. I had some injuries last year that derailed me towards the end of the season, so health was a big emphasis going into the year. So Jaylen Brown's goal this season is to play as many games as possible. Well, if that happens, then you're going to get probably at least 35 wins from the Celtics, and that's probably going to be too much for the lottery balls to go your way when it comes time for the draft lottery. So you're not going to get a tank from this squad. You'll never get a tanking effort from this squad. I mean, we just talked about Jordan Walsh and Josh Minott playing like their rent is due, and Neemias Queta playing like his rent's due as well. Like these guys are always going to give 100%, 110% effort because their NBA careers are not guaranteed to be very long. So you're not going to get a tanking effort from this crew. Brad Stevens has done what he's done to make this team as bad as possible, but they're going to give 110% effort every single night, and it starts at the top with Jaylen Brown. Now, lastly, on JB here, I will not be commenting on the hairline accusations, the fake thing he's got going on up top where he's getting everybody dirty during these games. I will not be commenting on that or my opinion, really, but shout out to Jaylen Brown for playing at an all-NBA level to start this season. I'm thinking maybe first or second team. What do you guys think? Will Jaylen Brown make an all-NBA team this season? Predict it for me down in the comment section. Y for yes, and for no. Very simple question before we get out of here on today's show. Will Jaylen Brown make all-NBA or not? Make sure you go subscribe to the channel as well, as that will do it for today's Celtics video. We'll be live again next week on the channel as well, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for our next videos. We cover your C's all season long, and as always, let's go C's.